Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing,
Doctor Who.
this being the sixth episode entitled Extremis. Um, I,
hmm
I watched it twice. I watched it on the Saturday, and I watched it on the Sunday as well, just to kind of reiterate, because I had a vague idea what was going on, but really it was kind of a little discombobulated. To be honest, I kind of thought that whole Missy stuff was kind of like distracting because it started off with a kind of flashback where kind of Doctor Who, like, he turns up and then it's like, oh, you have to preside over this execution because whatever, because you're a Time Lord and we couldn't find any others, so we asked you to do it. So they're gonna execute Missy. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's my first question though. Who? Who's executing Missy?
yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know where they were because I was looking at them and I was thinking, well, they can't be Time Lords because they would have just done it themselves, couldn't they? So I guess you know what I mean. So there's a massive gap there because last time we saw her, she was with the Daleks and she was like, oh, I'm gonna help you out because there was that whole hybrid thing of the Time Lord and the Daleks, and that's what they were kind of trying to do. But then they got thwarted, and she ended up getting captured by the Daleks, and that was the last time we kind of saw her. And now she's like, what, been captured by someone else? She even mentioned as well, because she said that the Daleks, the word amongst the Daleks is that you've retired and you're hanging her out on beryllium like obviously with River Song, you know what I mean. So she was surprised to see him, but it's like, okay, how did she get away from the? How did she get from there to here? You know what I
Right.
mean?
This isn't the first time the Master's been executed, right? My memory is sketchy, but in the wasn't that the premise of the Paul McGann thing? Like the Master gets executed at the beginning, but finds some way to live as some like snake thing or some crap like that.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't mind them recycling the story, but it's like I don't get it. And this is like a three-parter, though, isn't it? That's what I heard or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought that because I didn't believe it at first. I was thinking, oh, that's a bit whatever. But yeah, I guess so. So,
Okay.
so yeah, it opens with that, and when them scenes kept popping up, I was just like, whatever. I weren't so hot on it. I don't know why, because I guess it was interesting, because they were like, oh, she was like, oh, don't kill me, and it was obviously weren't gonna kill her, but they flicked to it like 3 or 4 times, didn't they, to kind of split up. I think that's why the episode was kind of the actual like main plot was kind of a little bit all over the place because literally they cut to that about 4 or 5 times. I was like, oh, just kind of whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, basically, Doctor Who's still blind.
You
Um,
love calling him Doctor Who, don't you?
yeah, I know he's a doctor, but I'm calling him Doctor Who. It's
Okay.
charming. So yeah, so so he's still blind, and then is doing his stuff. I think he's kind of found a way to see because he's linked up his sonic glasses to whatever, so it kind of like
That's stupid as well.
beams visually directly into his brain, so we don't need to use his eyes. But it's
That's
kind of like,
bullshit. Such a cheat. I mean, A, I don't really care about him being blind, and B, that's a cheat. That's
um,
like
well,
it's
not
like in a Daredevil in the movie
yeah,
where it rains and suddenly you can see. What's the point in him being blind?
no, but it's kind of like, well, he is still kind of blind because he can't like really make stuff out. It just like things, but like it registers like
Yeah.
life signs and stuff like that. So it can be like, oh, there's someone about somewhere. So it's
Mhm.
kind of all a bit like off key, you know what I mean? So the Pope comes to visit him about a book called the Veritas, and apparently whoever reads it, they like. I think the first remark they made was, "Oh, it's only a short book. There's only a few pages." But later on, when he actually opens it up, I swear there's about 100 pages in there. You know what I mean? So I was thinking, all right
That's
then.
short for a book, though, isn't it? 100 pages.
Oh, come on, knock it off,
This.
dude.
I mean, I don't read, but even I know 100 pages that much.
Right, so it's more than most. That's not a short book. A few pages in my head is like, oh, so there's going to be about five
A
pages.
few pages. That's not a book. That's a pamphlet.
Whatever, don't matter. So yeah, can I get to Can I get to
Oh yeah, you
recapping
stop
it?
making stupid points like
Oh, it's not a
pages.
stupid point. It's perfectly valid. He directly comes out and says, for something with only a few pages, and then I'm looking, I'm
It's
thinking,
shorthand.
I swear the book's like that thick.
Behave.
Right, so yeah, whoever reads it tops himself, to put it to put it
Mm.
bluntly, I guess. So it's like all the big mysteries. So it's like, oh, everyone who reads it kills himself. Here, Doctor, you can read it for us, yeah. So whatever. So he gets like this weird little technology thing, so he can kind of read it. So yeah, and then they head to the. I guess they head to the Vatican. I guess, but like, they stop up at Bill's house, and then all these like Romans.
Oh, actually, that was kind of funny. I'll
Well,
give it that.
no, I thought that was whack. I was like, what?
No,
As if Doctor Who's just letting him randomly just walk about. I'd be like, look, stay here, yeah, don't go nowhere. You know what I mean? And then you got like the Pope just randomly walking into a living room, and then
yeah.
instantly, literally, like Bill's like, you know, date or whatever's instantly like, that's the Pope. It's like, no, oh, that's just some random Italian guy in an outfit rambling. It's like, that's 100% the Pope, and there's nothing you can do to unconvince me. I'd be like, yo, that could be anyone. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, that's definitely the Pope, I don't want to hear no more about it. I'd be
This
like,
guy
prove
stop
it.
the Who, man.
I'd be
It's
like,
just rich. It was funny.
I'll
She was
just
on a date. Her date was insecure, clearly about being a lesbian. She had concerns, and the Pope walks in. It was funny. Shorthanded, it's a good gag, and then you move on.
no, and then they walk into the bedroom and like all of them are like in there. It's like, yo, what's your problem, man? Stay put. So yeah, they go to the thing, and then they're kind of wandering about, and then we kind of flash back to the Missy thing, and I guess that's when Nardole pops up, and he like, River's giving him the little TARDIS book, a little diary or whatever, and she's like, yo, don't do anything stupid and stuff like that, or his like that. So there's a bit of Batty Crease thing there. So that's another. That was pointless. The whole thing of that was pointless. That was just putting stuff in for putting stuff in. But it's like, great, you wasted about 2 minutes and you've completely threw the story off now, because you know what I mean. There's too many interjections. So I think.
I mean, what is the story?
Well,
I mean, what is actually going on?
right. So yeah, to cut a long story short, basically they managed to get the book. I can't remember how they get the book, and the Doctor's working on translating it, and basically the translation it is like the kind of book, it is like a test of shadows. So they end up walking off, Bill and Nardo, and then they come into like some sort of projector room or whatever. They walk out of one portal, and it's like a kind of big atrium like things, and they go through the different portals. They walk through one, and it's like the Pentagon, and they walk through into CERN, and they're kind of there, and they've got, and like the scientist is like toasting and stuff like that. He's got his wine, like drinking it. It's like, yo, it's the end of the world. And they kind of go out, and it's like, yo, what's actually happening? And they look under the thing, and there's a bunch of like dynamite underneath there, like the most like obvious looking dynamite. You know what I mean, from the cartoons.
This is the point where I gave up,
Oh,
like trying to understand what was happening
this
or
is
caring.
this is a good bit. This is where
I was,
it's,
I was out.
because everything else up to this point was just rambling on and just annoying interjections. So basically, so they're standing there, and it's like, yo, we're killing ourselves because there's no point. We're not real. And she's like, what do you mean? And it's like, yo, I'm gonna bang on this table and say a number. You say a number. So he does it, and then she says a number, and like Nardo says exactly the same number, and it's like every time I tap, you say a random number that pops into your head. So they tap, and like all their numbers turn out to be the same, which is like basically the whole premise of it. So they go back, they kind of prang it, I guess, before the thing blows up, runs into the projector room, and then he figures, and then Nardo kind of does a little thing where he goes behind the projectors and puts his hand out outside, and it turns out he's like a computer program. You know what I mean? So the basic thing is with the Veritas is that it's like a test to see if you're real or not, or whether you're like a computer simulation. So it turns out they're all in a computer simulation somehow. And when they say the numbers, if I say like 10 and you say 10 at exactly the same time, that basically means you're in a computer program, because it doesn't discern the kind of different numbers from people. So everyone in the kind of simulation, like the kind of coding or whatever, is such that you could, when I say think of a random number, that's like the collective. So everyone in there like comes up with a random number, but because they're all linked, because they're in the same thing, they all come out with the same number. So that's the test to see if you kind of,
Okay, what you said sounds very impressive,
yeah, it's
but
kind of
it's
cool.
it's there's too much in between.
Yeah,
There's
so
too much crap.
yeah. So I mean, it's a real good idea. It's a real kind of clever thing. So yeah, they realise they're in a computer thing. That's why everyone who kills themselves when they read the Veritas, because they read the Veritas and it's like, look, basically to test if you're real or not, you say a random number with someone else, and if they say the same number, then you know you're in a kind of computer projection thing. So that's like the test. So they think, so knowing that they're not real, they kill themselves to escape, as it were. So that's like the big thing. And then he gives a reference about like Super Mario. Say Super Mario becomes like self-aware and realizes it is in a game, and then he gets sick of dying, so he deletes himself. Basically, that's like the cool analogy and stuff like that. So basically, they're all in a simulation, because super powerful alien, which is that weird kind of mummy thing, um, he's basically invading Earth, but like he doesn't know how it's going to go, so he runs a simulation to be like, right, if I come in and blow up whatever, is that going to work? If I go in and like on the sly, will that work? So basically that's what it is. That's his kind of machine and projections, and is like testing to see what would happen if he invades Earth, to kind of find the right way that's going to do it with the least casualties or whatever. So yeah, and then to kind of break the thing, because they kind of, him and Doctor Who have the discussion, and Doctor Who records it on his glasses, and then he sends it to the glasses back in time, as it were, or to the real world, where he's kind of just in the vault sitting there, and he gets it, he reads the recording and realises, right, in like a day or so, like this alien's going to invade and put everyone in a simulation, so I've got to stop it preemptively. So he's got all the information there, so being the free party, he just has to hunt down the alien now, and then kind of go from there. That's why it's like he rings up Bill and is like, yo, have you gone on been going on dates with whatever the girl's name is? And she's like, nah, I ain't got the courage to do it. And it's like, well, go do it, go ring her now, and then set up a date for tomorrow or whatever, and that's going to set the kind of chain of events into motion from that point onward. So he's got however long to prevent it. So that's why in the next part you see like, oh, there's like a random pyramids turned up, and that's that lot, and they're kind of fighting back against him to stop the invasion. So that's basically the next episode. And then he kind of, because he kind of gets information and is like, yo, because like when they're at the execution, Missy was like, yo, you can't kill me, I'm your friend. So he kind of, when he's in the vault, he kind of turns around and he talks to the door and it's like, yo, Missy, I'm blind, my enemies can't know. Or then we're kind of at a weakness, you know what I mean? It's like, you said you were my friend, so help me. See, now that's the whole vault mystery, that she's in there. But truth be told, I ain't convinced till the doors open and she walks out. You know what I mean? Because he easily could have been like sending a message with his glasses to her. She could be elsewhere. Because the kind of what kind of initially set me off is like when they're on the execution. It's like, oh, we're doing this, we kill them, and then it's up to the executioner to guard the body for at least 1,000 years. So that's why she's in the vault, and he can't leave because he has to guard it for like 1,000 years. I'm not convinced she's in there.
If
It's
it
like,
is her, it's lame.
if he hasn't executed her, it's like, let her go. You know what I mean? It's like, right, I'm not going to execute you, but I'm just going to lock you in a vault for 1,000 years.
Well, I can understand why the Doctor wouldn't let the Master or whatever we call it, Missy go, but whether it's her or not, if it is her, that's lame.
Oh yeah,
It's
obviously
real letdown.
there was uproar. I think it's like a double bluff, because really, until I see the doors open and she walks out, I ain't convinced. Because now he's got them glasses on, he could just be like talking with the glasses and projecting out a message to help to her. You know what I mean? So that's my theory. Because it's like, it's kind of around the same time because I'm thinking, was he blind when he kind of met her? Because they were having a little one-on-one thing beforehand, and I swear she put her hand out and like as a test or something because she was going like that looking at him like a test. That's when she put her hand out and he just turned around and walked away, you know what I mean, as in not to give himself away. So I'm thinking, does she know he's blind or whatever? So yeah, I ain't convinced it's her, and it better not be her or it's going to be disappointing. But it was a damn clever idea. Let's talk numbers. It was a
Well,
good idea, right? But that
it's
was
a good idea, but it sounds like you really enjoyed the third act. Personally, I couldn't because I was just checked out by that point. There was too much
yeah.
boring stuff in the
There, there,
beginning.
there was a lot of talk and a lot of boring stuff, which is why when I was like sitting there and it's like, right, I'm kind of following it, and then I was like, oh, I'm bored, and I switched off, and then like that's when you're like, okay, what's actually going on here? I mean, so yeah, if it wasn't so cluttered, it would have been like one of the best episodes because it was a damn good idea, but really it was very cluttered.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm still going to give it a 7 because the premise of it was strong. It's just they messed up. It's like you got such a kind of intricate idea like that. Kind of make it like as linear as possible. Don't
Hmm.
clutter a ton of stuff around it because that's just going to switch you off and you're going to be like, duh, what happened? And then when it's kind of explained or you watch it again, like I did, you're like, oh, that was actually real sick. But it's like, oh, you had to be 100% invested and like not be distracted by everything else that was going on to like actually
Exactly.
properly
Not only
enjoy
was
it.
it distracting
I found yeah, I did
in
find that.
itself, it's also distracting having Missy there.
Yeah, that was like the big thing. Whether he did that on purpose or whatever, so for replay factor or whatever, so you can be like, oh, what actually happened? I need to watch that again. But really, I think that Missy being there and those scenes were like the biggest distraction, and they were whack. It's not
Hmm.
like they were interesting either. They were just hella talking. It was like, yo, I can't. Yeah. I think kind of Nardo and Bill are kind of working on their thing, but like I'm thinking, right, that again, it's one of them things where the whole episode was kind of pointless, to the point that all that's like pointless now because that hasn't happened yet. So really, like Bill and Nardo are still going to be like not tight because they didn't have that interaction going through the Vatican.
Yeah.
So it's a step back for them, which is annoying because when they were kind of getting into it and stuff like that, I was thinking, yeah, I'm feeling that. So yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'm Sam.
I'm not.
We'll see you for the next episode.